All set?
Yep, it's on.
Good evening. My name is Jack Dearborn. I'm the chairman for the Ware Zoning Board of Adjustments. This evening, we have one case. It's 1120, and the applicant's name is Frank Campana. And before we get any further, let me ask the board to introduce themselves. Bobby Joe.
Bobby Joe Plamond, member.
Michael Meyer, member.
Malcolm Wright, member.
Mark Moretti, member.
Thank you. Okay, let me just tell you how we run the meeting. All applications before the board come through the land use coordinator. And the land use coordinator, her job is to make sure that they're put together correctly. So we only hear cases before us. Tonight, we have what's called administrative appeal. What's that? It's a case where somebody from the town of Ware made a zoning judgment or a land use judgment. In this case, is Kelly, who was the land use coordinator. And she granted permission, and somebody says, I don't agree with that. So we're here tonight to hear on this administrative appeal. The way I do it is, the chair will ask for a motion to accept the application. What that means is for us to hear it. Doesn't mean that we're going to say yes or no in terms of whether we like it. It's just a question of, is it complete enough? Or are there any outstanding issues we need to consider before we hear it? So once I get a motion from a board member, and then we get a second, I'll open up the discussion. After the discussion, I will ask for an up or down vote, and you need 3 votes to forward it for the hearing. If you get less than 3 votes, it doesn't get forwarded. We just won't hear the case. So, once we do have a case before the board, at that point, I would ask the board member, I will read the excerpt, the overview of the application. And then I will ask the board if they have any questions. If they have none, at that point, I will ask the applicant to come forwards and state his name, his or her name. And at that point, we'll ask the board if they have any questions of the applicant. If they don't have any questions of the applicant at that point, I will open the public hearing. And basically, all questions go to the chair. In other words, one person up at a time in front of the microphone, and we will ask the applicant to please basically state the purpose and question that he's trying to answer, and then give us the answer of what his concern is. So basically present his material here. At that point, ask the board if they have any questions of the applicant. Having none, I'll ask the applicant to sit down. Then I'll ask any approving abutters wish to speak, one at a time, come up, state your name, speak what you feel that you approve on this application or not, and then after I'm done through all the yeses or the people who are in favor, then I'll ask for disagreeing abutters. We'll go through the same thing again, come up front, and the only time you'll be allowed to talk is up front. Okay, once that happens, I'll ask for other boards and public at large if they wish to speak. Once that's done, I ask the applicant to come back again and rebut anything he wishes to rebut. If he doesn't, then it's not necessary. Then I'll go one more time around. I'll ask approving abutters, disapproving abutters, other boards, public at large. Once we've gone through twice, I will close the public meeting, and after that, there's no public comment or input. I will then ask for a motion to accept the application. Everything we do is in the positive. Yes means yes, no means no, so we don't have to have any double negatives or whatever. So you require 3 votes to be affirmed, or you get less than 3, yeah, it's a no. So with that said, I'd ask for, let me just do a quick here. Frank Campana and his, the applicant Frank Campana, abutter, telephone number 7359, 322 Quaker Street, Ware, New Hampshire, 03281. The owner of the property is Tom Cooper, 534 Brandy Road. Is that Fort or Front Royal, Virginia, 22633. Location, Quaker Street, question mark on 232. And tax map 404, lot 201 hyphen 113-1 RA zone. And there's an attachment with the rough bounds of the property, proposed use, driveway on an easement right-of-way granted to Thomas Cooper, fronting on Quaker Street. And then this is an appeal for the issuance of Tom Cooper's driveway permit 921-20 by Benji Knapp, which was in violation of 36.3.5.1. Also definitions of driveway, common, and driveway. Okay, with that, there is no sketch attached. There is an administrative appeal. I will ask the applicant to do that. There are a list of abutters. So, with that, could I have a
Move to accept the application.
thank you. Second?
Second.
Okay, questions, any discussion? I have a point I wish to bring up to the board. Now, I look back, and in 94, it was approved by the planning board. This is an approved subdivision in 94, after zoning. Okay? You get the name?
No, he didn't. Amanda Eaton. Amanda Eaton.
Thank you. And I also looked up the zoning requirements back then, subdivision regulations or whatever they were called. And it is approved in 94, and as far as I can see, it was compliant to the town of Ware's zoning at the time that the planning board used. And at the same time, in 93 actually preceded it, there was a earlier driveway permit done in 93. So there's already a standing driveway permit and approved in 94, this lot. So my concern is, we're here to judge on the case, on the merit of the case. My problem, before we even get to the case, is there some underlying RSA or some kind of legal decisions that would either say that you still have a valid driveway permit, or you don't have a valid driveway permit. And if this is a valid driveway permit, what effect does it has on getting the next one in order to document provide a house address on Quaker Street and/or get the property in the name of the owner, new owner. So, I'm concerned that if we go down the path here this evening without having the benefit of town council. And these administrative appeals are kind of unique because they're not a variance or they're not a special exception. This is really a question of a dispute with the town. So I guess my concern is we go through this whole case, we render judgment for or against, and somebody wants to hire a lawyer and doesn't like the answer. And then we have a good chance of going to court. And that's a lot of time and $25,000 to the town and or the applicant. So I'd feel better if we got an opinion from town council whether there's any precedent to this case of the 93 existing driveway permit, and what did getting the second driveway permit actually do on the legitimacy of the 93. So that's basically what I would ask the board to consider before we go any further here, because we find one way or the other, somebody's not gonna like it. And, which means that we'll probably end up in court. Stakes are high. The owner of the property laid out good money to build a house there, as well as the abutters have a concern that maybe this is inappropriate. So with that, I'd ask for a motion to continue this case pending town council's opinion on this case as the evidence presented.
So moved.
Okay, any discussion? Second, excuse me.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Being none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So what we just did is stop the meeting. There's no sense in going through the meeting, go through here, have a hearing, hear all the documentation, and then come back the next week and find out from the attorney that, A, we shouldn't have heard it, or B, we should have heard it and made a decision. So, I hate to screw everybody this evening up, but this is as far as we go this evening. And it is for a date certain, which will be December
December 1st.
1st, sorry. December 1st is the next meeting, and we will take this up as a first application of the evening.
So it'll be a continuation, no?
Yes. Continuation pending town council's opinion on this case, on the legal merit of the case.
Thank you.
And the reason I don't go ask for it beforehand is because sometimes people don't show up. And I've already wasted $300-400 or $200, depending how fast it's gonna be. And I'd rather wait and see if we have a real case, which we do tonight, and then we'll just take the action to go get the town council. And the town council doesn't like to render opinions on cases that haven't come before us. So with that, that's the highlight of the evening. I'm sorry, it'll be first on the docket next first Tuesday in December. It happens to be the first. Thank you all for coming. We go home and want tally votes.
We still have to adjourn. We haven't adjourned yet.
We haven't adjourned. Good point. We're gonna do the minutes next time. Okay, motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Thank you.
Second.
Second, discussion, being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Beautiful. Yeah, I had